Hey guys, this is Forsaken Reality here with the 28th episode of the RPG tutorial series. In this episode, we will be setting up per weapon animations for our idle, walk, and run. So basically, we'll be able to go into our data table and set our idles, animations, walk, and run, and that will be sent to the animation blueprint to determine our animations per weapon. So without further ado, we will get into that. So we want to go into our blueprints, data, enums, or our structures, animation details. I'm going to create a new variable. This is going to be an anim sequence, idle animation, and we'll create one more called blend space, and we'll just create a second one so it creates two blend spaces. This will be walk animation, run animation. Some people may have it set up so that they have a locomotion animation so that their idle, walk, and run is within one animation itself. I might show you how to do that later on, depending on if we really need to do that. Sometimes I like to split them up into their own separate animations so we can set things more specifically per animation state. So now that we have this done, we can open up our data table. You'll notice that you have 3 new animations in your animation details. Setting animations for weapon. Now that we have that done, we are going to want to open up our animation blueprint. And in our event graph, first of all, I'm just going to organize some of these over here. So the stance, I'm going to put this in a category called movement. And I'm also going to put this one in there, this one. I'll make sure stance is on top. So now we have the speed and direction and everything else in there. Our weapon equipped. It's going to go in combat. Right now we have one, but we're going to add multiple things into here. That should be for that. Now we want to go to our notify graph, or our update graph. And in here, it's double checking. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this minus the control rotation. I'm gonna copy it, control X to delete it, which also copies it. And we're gonna paste that out here. Checking to make sure I plug that pin in. So head back here. And this is going to be everything from our combat component. So if the weapon is equipped, we will need to check and see if our weapon ref is valid. Which is also coming from our combat component. So I'm going to move this out a bit. From here, if it is valid, we want to promote this to a variable. weapon reference. Just call it weapon reference. And it is valid. We're going to set this here. And from here, we are going to just put our weapon reference in our combat section. And get our weapon reference. Now that it's set, we get our item details. We now have access to our item details in our animation blueprint. And we're going to break item details. Animation details. First, I'm just going to promote it to a variable so that we have. Well, I'm not going to use this one right yet, but we have it set now, and we have access to everything, all of our animation details in the variable itself when you click on it. So you can grab any of those per weapon. And from here, I'm going to break the animation details. Close this back up because I'm not that big anymore. And from here, we're going to grab all of our animations that we just made. For the idle, we're going to promote to a variable. Walk, we're going to promote to a variable. And run, we're going to promote to a variable. So now we have all of these. It's setting it from per weapon. Okay. Now we're going to go up here. Plug these in to combat. Or actually, I'm going to put this one in animation. Oh, not the tooltip, the category. And I'm also going to put the idle, walk, and run. And we're also going to grab our shield reference. Set it for, oh, from here, we're combat component, we're going to get shield reference. We'll actually, it's going to be a little farther down there, so we'll copy this. Paste, so we have our shield reference and getting it from a fresh variable there. And we will first check if our shield reference is valid. And also, if our weapon reference is not valid, we will continue to check if our shield reference is valid. Because we also want to check for the shield and not just the weapon. Say, oh, we're not holding a weapon, we won't ever get to the shield if we don't do this, basically. And if that's correct, valid, you want to promote this to a variable. We'll set the shield reference. And we'll put that in combat. And we'll actually rename these to weapon idle anim. Weapon walk anim. weapon run anim, because these are only being set. These ones specifically are only being set when it's a weapon reference. So you want to make sure that make it a little more obvious to what they are exactly. And also, if you put hold shift and click the button above and hit the backslash button, so it creates this little symbol. You can create categories inside of here. So we can create weapon, so it's animation weapon. We can add that to all of our categories. Weapon, hold shift and backslash weapon. So now they're all in the weapon category, because we're now going to recreate some variables for the shield. So now we have that. We can actually copy this for these three right here, so just don't have to recreate them again. And we will get our shield ref. Let's start organizing that a little bit. And now that we have our shield ref, we will set our walk, idle, and run. And we will also set our animation details in general. Let's call this shield animations, and this one will be renamed to weapon animations, because it's set for, because this one's being set back here for the weapon. And we'll run this into there. Make it a little more organized. Just trying to get it to look similar to the one back there, so it doesn't look odd. You're looking through it. There we go. And we can open up this, and I'm actually going to collapse all of this into its own little graph. And this one is going to be called, animation variables, because that's where it's setting animations for weapon. Actually not per weapon, because this will eventually be per item, because right now it's also setting it for shields as well. And we want to go into here and just plug in our output so you can continue on through that if at any point you need to. And if you ever want to have one of these and you just don't want the text there, you just click space and enter, bam. I don't know why you need to put the space there, but that's just how you do it. Okay, now we're going to rename these quickly to shield, idle, anim, shield, walk, anim, shield, run, anim. And we're going to put these in the animation shield folder. Animation shield. Animation shield. So now these will be set depending on when you pick up the weapon. So when you pick up the weapon, it will come from the weapon or the shield, and it will basically just set these animations. so that we can use them in our animation graph, which is where we're going to head to next after I do some quick commenting. And I'm just going to make some room here. Combat component variables. And right here, this is all going to be weapon animations. And right here, we'll comment this. In this comment, we'll say that weapon animations from the weapon graph. I'll get rid of that comment, but we'll keep this one. Shield animations. Check if shield is valid. Set a reference to the shield so you can grab any variables from the shield that you need. And set shield animations from the shield reference to be used in the graph. There. Now everything's commented, so that we know what to do. We have to come back. We can move on to our Anim Graph. So in our Anim Graph, just gonna put this in there in the default folder, so now it's at the bottom, so I have all the weapon animations organized there. Combat's organized. There. So now I want to go into our default and idle. And in here, currently I would set so every single time we're in the melee pose, these are the animations that play. Now we would set up so we can set them per weapon. So we want to get our animations, weapon, and get our weapon idle. And the way this is going to work is you want to click on this, and right here the binding, you want to expose it as a pin so we can plug it in. Now it's setting the idle animation. For every time we pick up our weapon, we can set different idles in here and it will switch the idle. And for the walk, you want to click on the blend space, go down to this blend space, expose it as a pin, get the weapon walk animation, plug that in there. And also we can just delete this and copy. And we'll get the weapon walk, or the weapon idle. File and save, and now we have the weapon animations being set up per weapon for there. Right here, there's no weapon set, so let's keep that. We want to go back here and go to our run. So first we want to check if our stance blend poses by Anim. There we go. Now we want to get our right click on this and get our unequipped melee magic range. Compile and save. And this is their unequipped pose. Default run. We want to copy this. Suppose it as a pin. Up and run animation. And yeah, that should be it. Melee no shield, so this will be for anything without a shield. So you can have a two-handed greatsword, you can have a one-handed dagger, you can just set the run in the data table for that and run it through here. But for now, we don't, and we're gonna wait till the next video to create the animations for this. So for now, if you want, it'll go into T-pose because there actually is no up and run animation. For now, you can just plug this in like this. And in the next episode, we'll create some blend spaces for the running. For now, this will work. Let's plug this in like this. Basically, now our weapons are set up for weapons. So T-pose, because we didn't set up animation there. So I'll set an idle just to show that it works. Basically, I'm going to set a different one. This is one that just created there, and it's going to set 3 random animation blend spaces that we're not going to use, but so now we have the idle. Everything still works. We switch out and back into it, and it knows which animation we have. And I'm just going to set the idle for the weapon here. There, for that one. And there, now we have idles per weapon. So in the next video, we'll look into setting up blend spaces and the animations better. So we'll have basically our sword and shield animations and our one-handed animations. We'll be setting up a new stance and stuff as well. So if you found this video helpful and want to see more, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any tutorial video uploads or anything like that. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, feel free to leave those in the comments section below or join my Discord server using the link in the description. Thank you, and I'll see you all in the next episode.